with Blue Ledge on theirs through development agreement, so that's all done. Ours isn't done. We haven't addressed it, approached it. I mean, that was the ski plan from Deer Valley was the first thing we needed to start doing that. And this has just been completed within a short period of time. So we're just starting that process, just because that's how it's turned out. We're going to try very hard to not make mistakes. We want it to be absolutely the best quality, but we do want it to proceed. We do want it to succeed. So
before we take too many more questions, we want to turn the time to Dan, because there is some things that's going to have to happen before any development occurs as far as water, sewer, Dan, producers.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Dan Mathews. I'm the manager of the Special Service District up there that's in charge of providing some of the municipal services, particularly water, snowmaking, irrigation water, sewer services, and it sounds like maybe storm drainage eventually will be added to what we provide. Just a little bit of history. In the Jordanelle Basin, we started back in about 1993, really in response to property owners up there who could see the dam being built, the reservoir was going to be filled. Governor Mike Leavitt wanted to open State Park, and so in response to that, the county created this special service district. First of all, to run a sewer line out there to provide sewer to make sure that the reservoir remained as clean as possible and that there was sanitary sewer. Ever since then, the district has been operating in response to requests from the developer to put in these pieces of infrastructure that would allow them to go ahead and develop. Without water, both the water right and the facilities that are associated with that, of course, development just can't be done and isn't possible under the county code. It's just not physically possible. And so we've put in, over the years, like Mike says, quite a bit of infrastructure. We have a water treatment plant up there. We own and operate an old drain tunnel, an old mine that's a source of a lot of the raw water that's treated in that plant. We have tanks and pump lines and all kinds of water infrastructure that's servicing the existing development. We have wastewater treatment facilities and wastewater collection facilities that we've put in over the years. We also have a snowmaking component that we've been sending snowmaking water to Deer Valley and to Deer Crest Homeowners Association for many years. And so a couple of things that we can see that, I mean, despite our best efforts, the infrastructure hasn't made it on that list. It's going to have to be built by developers. And so the actual hardware to support the kind of development we're talking about is obviously a significant thing. Mayflower Property in particular did not participate in our prior construction and infrastructure, and so they're basically a blank slate as far as water and sewer service goes, and would have to essentially start from scratch and build everything that's needed over there. Water rights are a limiting factor throughout the West. Okay, there's significantly more land in the West than there is water. You're all aware of that. And this year is going to be particularly bad because it's just not snowing like we'd hoped it would snow. We're already looking at probably a 45% allocation or 50% next summer unless things significantly change. So you can see water is one of the limiting factors. Same is true in Jordanelle. There's a great deal of land up there and very little water. And so our concern has always been how to allocate that water, how to secure it on behalf of the developers, how to make sure that the developers pay for it. All of this is funded by the people that benefit. And so snowmaking is another additional component. I imagine there is some snowmaking potentially in some of that.
there is in the estimate included, but it's on-site stuff.
Right.
So anything off-site is not included.
Yeah.
Nor water rights.
And so those are all things that developers then would have to secure in order to make this possible. Generally speaking, financing is difficult to come by if there's not water rights in place with the land because it's just not developable. The water that we currently send for snowmaking actually has to be cooled down in our mine, it's about 50 degrees, and we need it at about 38 degrees. So we have all this infrastructure off-site to cool it down and ship it over to on-site. And then it sounds like some of the on-site improvements on those ski runs that Bob showed you would maybe be part of this rebate calculation. But everything else has to be built off-site and by developers. So we see a couple of limiting factors. Engineering-wise, can we put water and sewer systems on all these properties? Yes, we can do that. It takes money, it takes a little creative engineering sometimes, but that's doable. Water rights are significantly limited. And if there's not water there, it'll be the developer's responsibility to go get it. That's the only thing we can do, and our experience has been that's hard to come by. There's just not as much as sometimes we wish there was. So our job is to encourage and help and make sure that the services are there when the development's ready to go. And so that's what we've been working on all these years. We fully support the MIDA project, but we also support the development that's occurred. And if someone wants to come in under the existing zone, we're more than happy to proceed with them and help them move forward in that effort. So.
And I apologize, Dan, because my talking, I was referring to code issues as far as that the infrastructure and water is a totally different issue. I apologize.
No.
I didn't mean to mislead people.
Okay, thanks, Dan. What I'm going to do is ask comments from the council members.
Thanks, Bob.
And then we'll entertain questions. Steve?
Yeah, I just want to thank Mike. He's done a good job. If you look at this from a, I don't know, you know, he's kind of done a good job at the 10,000, 15,000 foot level. And that's good because getting down too deep into the weeds, it just gets really confusing. So I keep it at that level. I'd like to actually go up just a step higher, actually, because the RSPA and MIDA are separate. They one doesn't depend on the other. The RSPA code will be completed in anticipation that MIDA might be there, but it's not dependent upon it being there. So whether MIDA is there or not, the RSPA code can stand alone. So essentially for us, now notwithstanding the MIDA project control area, which is a very small piece of ground, that one is both the land use planning and a rebate system all in one. The counties is separated. There is the RSPA, which is the land use planning section, and that stands all by itself, and MIDA is a rebate system. It is apart from that. They can work together, but they are separate, and at least the RSPA can stand all on its own. So that everybody kind of understands that. It kind of takes it up just a notch. So you can kind of get the bigger picture. These things aren't dependent upon or codependent upon each other. RSPA will stand on its own, and that's sort of the rewrite of the code is so that it can be done that way. The RSPA can stand all by itself.
Or the new code.
Or the new code, or whatever we call it. Yeah.